Hey everyone, it's Shanna, Five and Family, back again with another pool video. Don't worry, this isn't a vacuum video for once. I'm actually going to go over real quick how to test the chemicals in your pool. Because most of you are probably at the point now where you've had the pool up, it's been running, and now what do you do? I will start off by saying I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. But I do have some experience in keeping an above ground pool maintained. This is our 7th year of an above ground pool, and I have only had to drain my pool one time from it turning green, and that wasn't even by my fault. We had a ladder that came with the pool that rusted, and it turned my entire pool rust and algae. It was horrible. I had it turn green one other time, but it was because we were on vacation. And we're in Texas and it's 110, 112 some days, and it just couldn't keep up, but I was able to get it back. So while I'm not an expert, I do have experience, and I do think oftentimes pool maintenance is overcomplicated. So I'm here to give you the very basic steps of what I do to keep my pool maintained. So as you can see right now, my pool is pretty clean. It's clear. That is my A-Pure skimmer. I love it. Get it if you can. But we just got back on vacation, and I have a feeling that my chemicals are not balanced. So I want to show you guys what I do to check it, and then how I add my chemicals. We were on vacation. I haven't done anything chemical-wise to the pool since last week. We are in the state of Texas. We have been in the 100-degree plus temperatures, and chemicals are going to zap a lot quicker than they would when it's just 70, 80 degrees outside. So let me show you what I do to maintain my pool. How often are you supposed to test your pool chemicals? So for me, during the summer, I test them every couple days. The sun is not your friend when it comes to a pool during the summer. It just isn't. That's a fact. I don't care what anyone says. Especially if you live in Texas, because the heat is brutal. So every couple days, I checked it. I check it to make sure that my chlorine is good and my pH as well. I can also tell kind of when my chemicals are off based on my pool water, just kind of what it's looking like. If it's starting to look a little cloudy, a little murky, most likely my pH is off, and I probably need to do an algaecide treatment on it. But for the most part, every couple days you need to test it, and then you need to add what you need to accordingly. It's that simple. I don't just go throwing chemicals in without testing my water. That doesn't happen. I don't encourage that either. Some people do. Some people just once a week will throw in, you know, a pound of shock and throw in some pH and call it good. I do think you have to have those kind of all balanced out to make your pool enjoyable on your skin and your eyes. Just the pool itself, so it doesn't have wear and tear on the liner or the inside of your pool or even your poles. I mean, there is some scientific reasoning behind all of that, needing your chemicals to be balanced, not just keeping your pool clear. So for me, I don't recommend just throwing something in there once a week. Now, if that works for you, great. That's awesome. But I don't recommend it, because I do think to maintain your pool properly and to keep it enjoyable, you've got to have those two things balanced, the pH and the chlorine. The other thing is, a lot of your new vacuums, the pool vacuums and pool or robotic skimmers and all that, if your pH and your chlorine is not within a certain level and you use their vacuum or their skimmer or anything, they will void your warranty. And I know this because I have reviewed several vacuums over the last couple weeks, and each one of them have that in there, that they will void your warranty if your pool water is not maintained at a certain chemical level. So that's another reason why it's important. These are the chemicals that I use. This is all I use. Well, I also have, so right there, the floating bobber, that is a chlorine bobber, and you need to keep chlorine tablets in there all the time. All the time it needs to be full. You don't ever take it out unless your chlorine is just super high and you need to kind of let it filter its way out. Then you can take them out briefly, but you need to keep them in. These chlorine tablets help maintain the potency, I guess you could say. I'm not going to get scientific because I don't know the scientific words. The potency of the shock that you put in your pool. those chlorine tablets will help the chlorine last longer. So it's super important that you keep it full at all times. You can use the 1-inch tablets or you can use the 3-inch tablets. It's all a preference. And they're all expensive, so it doesn't even matter. There are some tablets out there that are the Arm & Hammer, like the pH alkalinity balance. I don't even know what they are, but I don't use those. If you do, more power to you. Great. I don't, I never have, and so I cannot speak to those. But always keep your chlorine bobber full. So again, these are the stuff that I use. This is liquid chlorine. I just get this at Walmart. This is HTH Algae Guard. I also get this at Walmart. This is my testing kit. Walmart. Chlorine 1-pound shock packets. Walmart. pH Up. Walmart. This is all I use to maintain my pool. First things first, you're going to want to backwash your pump. I'm not going to show you how to do that today. I will link at the end of this video, the video to how to backwash a sand pump. I'm not going to do it right now. You're going to want your pump to run as efficiently as possible, so it needs to be clean. So always backwash your pump, which I've already done. Now, we're going to test the water. I'm going to go get it out of the pool, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so the testing kit comes with a little case that you're going to put water in, and you can see it has 2 lines where you're going to fill your water up at, okay? So on the yellow side, you're going to do yellow. That's going to test your chlorine. Red side is going to test your pH. You're going to do 5 drops of each in each one, and then we're going to shake it up, and I'll talk to you more. At this point, if you want to sing a little song while you're shaking it, you can. It doesn't matter. Okay, I shook it up. I'm not sure if you guys can really see very well. My chlorine is about where I want it to be. It may be a tad high, but it's okay. It's going to be 100 plus today, so my chlorine being higher is not the issue. But as you can see, let me see if I can get out of the way. My pH is low. And I know that because I would rather my pH be in this range right here. And it's further down here, which means I need to add pH. So in general, you're going to want your colors to be kind of like right there in the middle. You could also Google, what is a safe range for chlorine and a safe range for pH? You could look that up too. It has little numbers on there, and you can go off of that. If you're just starting out and you need that help. I've done it long enough that I kind of have an idea. I know exactly kind of where I need it to be. So for me, I'm going to add some pH. pH up. They also have pH down. I don't usually have to use pH down, but sometimes I do. This is, it raises your pH, reduces eye irritation, and guards against corrosion. That's what the bag says. How much do you use is all dependent on your pool. My pool is a 22 by 54 foot Coleman above ground pool. Your pool may be smaller. I tell people all the time, start out small. Read the back of the bag, see how much it states that you need based on where your pH level is and based on how big a pool that you have, and add accordingly. Now, add less. Add less, because I also tell people you can always add more, but you can't take any away. So a rule of thumb is look at the back of your bag, add roughly what it states, maybe a little bit less, retest your water in a couple hours, and see if you need to add more. It's that simple. Now, I usually add my chemicals in the evening so my pool can filter all night. However, with as hot as it is until 9 o'clock at night for us, and it's late and then I can't see anything out here, I'm doing it in the morning. It's 8:30 in the morning, so I have a couple hours before the sun completely zaps it, and I'll have enough time to filter out. So again, we're gonna add the pH up. Now, if my chlorine was low, I'm gonna wanna add chlorine, right? If my chlorine is high, that's what I was talking about, taking that chlorine bobber out. Mine's perfect, so I can't show you guys how I do the chlorine, but I can kind of give you an idea and guidance. If my chlorine is just a little bit low, I usually add right at where my filter, my inlet goes into the pool, I usually add liquid chlorine. I usually just kind of pour it right there in the filter, I don't know, you know, a cup or so, and recheck it in a couple hours and see where my chlorine's at. That usually does the trick for me. The difference between the liquid chlorine and the chlorine packets is the sustainability. The liquid chlorine has a certain chemical, it lacks a certain chemical that it is zapped and isn't maintained as long as the powdered chlorine. So for now, I just use a little bit of the liquid chlorine, use a little bit of the liquid chlorine. I put it in there, retest it in a couple hours, add as needed. I'm gonna add the pH. I'm not touching my chlorine right now because I don't need to. My chlorine is fine. I'm gonna retest in a couple hours. I'm not gonna show you guys me retesting it. If I need to add more pH, I'll add more pH. If I don't, then great. I did exactly what I needed to do. After that, I'm gonna let my pump run all day. This evening, I'm going to sweep up off the pool bottom, any debris or anything like that. I'm about to run my vacuum also. And then I'm just gonna use this algae guard. It's hot in Texas, and now my filter is moving all the time. I still have algae buildup. So that stuff is going to kill it, no problems. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add the pH up. I'm going to not touch my chlorine. And that's about it, guys. Now, is this a really in-depth video? No, it's not. I probably didn't answer all of your questions, but I will sum it up by saying, for me, the only two things I test are my pH and my chlorine. That's it. I add algae guard when needed, and that's it. I don't get into all the other stuff. Should I? Probably. Am I going to? No. Why? Because what I'm doing works for me. And I feel like that's the best advice for you guys, is do what works best for you. Don't overcomplicate things. If you take it up to a pool store, they're going to tell you have to add X, Y, and Z, and then that just gets complicated. So if you want to do that, great. If that's been working for you, awesome. But if it's too complicated, then don't do that. Just for me, maintaining my chlorine and my pH level, I can have a crystal clear pool the entire summer. No problem whatsoever. So again, I'm going to leave a link to a video on how to backwash your pool. I also have a pool playlist that is full of maintenance tips, vacuum reviews, all those things on our YouTube channel. Just look at our pool playlist. They're all in there. If you guys have any questions, I'm always available to help. You can just leave a comment in the video. I'll be happy to answer them. You can message me through Facebook. We also have an email. You're more than welcome to email me there. I will do my best to help you. I just want you guys to enjoy your pool, and I think so many people get discouraged because they don't know how to maintain it because it seems so big and bad. I relate it to like the sourdough world. And I just don't think it has to be that complicated. So, all right, guys, it is 9 o'clock and it's probably already 95 degrees outside. I'm really, really hot. So I'm going to do this to the pool. If you guys have any questions, let me know.